stage. All right. Haven't even done anything yet. Yeah, no, thank you. Every comedy show starts with me in debt to you, because you all cheer first. Haven't done anything. I just walked from there to there, and you cheer out of the goodness of your heart. But then the second you sit down, then you're like, yeah, now you owe us. It wasn't a freebie, buddy. This is reciprocal. You got about 15 to 30 seconds to start paying that loan back in installments of laughs, buddy. I'm happy to be here, though. Honestly, I'm just happy to be alive. Is life great? I actually had a near-death experience recently. A couple months ago, I came this close to getting married. Yeah, every day above ground's a good day now. I just wake up in a musical. The hills are alive with the sound of loneliness. No, I got in a relationship with a young lady. It moved very fast. It's very toxic. There were tons of red flags. She had some too. I ignored them all. I ignored every red flag. The first red flag I ignored is right off the bat, she was just way too into me. Should have been my first clue. When I started dating her, she asked me to elope with her after 2 weeks. That is the right response. And instead of me thinking, any woman who wants to elope with me after 2 weeks is a huge red flag, my ego just went, yeah, that checks out. Happens all the time. Women date me for 2 weeks and they want to put a ring on it. You're right, I can't do the hair flip as well. Another huge red flag I ignored is a couple months in, she goes, Paul, I don't like that you pursue your dreams, and I don't want you to get your big break as a comedian because I'm afraid you'll leave me. So I did the only mature, compassionate thing I could think of. I left her before I got my big break, everybody. Yeah, she could have gotten dumped by a rich and famous comedian. Instead, she got dumped by a broke loser comedian because I'm a giver. Was a really hard time. I'm just going to get real. This is kind of a dark topic, but I want us to be comfortable talking about it. When I got out of the relationship, I was in bad headspace. One day it was so bad, for the first time in my life, I actually called the suicide hotline. Spoiler alert. It worked. Yeah. Didn't mean to ruin the ending for you. That's bad storytelling. Calling the suicide hotline was not at all what I expected. I thought when I called, someone would answer. I thought I would get, your love, put the gun down, step away from the ledge, we've got you. It is not like that. It felt exactly like calling Verizon customer service. Just, thank you for calling the suicide hotline. Para español, aprima número dos. I would like to not die in English, please. Can we? Please listen to our entire menu as they've recently changed. I was not expecting a menu. But I learned something listening to the menu of the suicide hotline. If you are a straight white man who's never experienced the horrors of war, I think they're totally fine if you die. You're at least a low priority. Like, if you are a military veteran, please press 1. If you are LGBTQ+, please press 2. If you are a straight white man who's never experienced war and you're sad, that's on you. Trust us, there's nothing here at the suicide hotline we're going to say to make your privileged life any better. Why don't you try hanging up and talking to a number one or a number two just to find out how hard life can really be. Why do they have different numbers, though? Do you get a different person? Can a therapist talk to anybody struggling? What do you get if you push one for military, some sort of, I don't know, step down, private, you will live today! You will live today, private, now drop and give me 20! The only thing I needed to move forward was verbal abuse from a father figure. Who knows what you get when you push number 2? There's a lot of letters in there. Get some, hey, who wants to live today? Like this fabulous! I feel like if you press 2, there's got to be a sub menu. You push 2 for LGBTQ, then you get, if you're lesbian, press 1. If you're gay, press 2. If you're bisexual, press 1 and 2 at the same time. Did it though? Got myself into therapy because I'm white. Online, I mean. I want to get better, but I'm not going to go there. I'm going to do it on Zoom, like an American. My therapist was cool. That first session, I explained the whole situation with the relationship, all the trauma. And she goes, Paul, in my opinion, your ex sounds like a narcissist. That was so upsetting to me because I thought we were supposed to be talking about me. My therapist said, one sign of narcissists is they need the constant validation of other people. And I just thought, what sort of vapid, insecure loser needs the constant validation of other people? Am I right? 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 Hey, could you guys quiet down? I got a ways to go. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I... My therapist said there's different types of narcissists, and one of them is a covert narcissist. Isn't that such a cool name? To me, that's the only personality disorder that sounds like a spy movie. Mission Impossible 8, covert narcissist. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, survive a relationship with someone who never takes responsibility for their emotions. If you're upset, it's your fault. If they're upset, it's also your fault. This relationship will now self-destruct. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I paid for that applause. That one wasn't free. I worked for it. My therapist talked a lot about gaslighting. I guess gaslighting is possible. Talk a lot about that in mental health now. And oh, by the way, if you don't know what gaslighting is, it's probably because there's something wrong with you. So if you excuse me, I'm going to keep talking into this banana. It's a banana. Started getting into the self-help industry. Figured no one else is helping. Guess I'll do it myself. Went to Tony Robbins. Figured, I'm 42 years old, never had a successful relationship, and I'm $30,000 in debt. But now, I'm 42. Never had a successful relationship, and I'm $33,000 in debt. Because I put Tony Robbins on a credit card, so got very awkward for me during the financial health portion of the seminar when he goes, "Don't go into unnecessary debt." I went into debt to hear you say that. I learned something at Tony Robbins, though, right? So Tony Robbins, he calls himself a life coach. But everybody I met at Tony Robbins just wants to be life coaches. And then they start trying to life coach each other on how to be better life coaches, to grow their life coaching businesses, to life coach more life coaches to grow their life coaching businesses so that they can coach more life coaching business. Like this Ponzi scheme, this N-word spiral of cannibalistic life coaches just life coaching each other. I'm going, eventually somebody has to be, I just want to be an accountant. Yeah, what about me? I just want to play the bassoon. Does that blow anybody's mind? That there are professional bassoon players among us? They're out there. That's their entire contribution to the world, is the ability to go. And they crush it. It's one of the hardest instruments to master, tens of thousands of hours. They have to start as a child. They could be surgeons, but no. Their contribution to the world. How does that happen? I have spent so much time trying to figure out, how does somebody know that that's their mission? How do they get into bassooning? Because you have to start at like 6 years old to even have a chance at mastering that as an adult, to get in one of the top symphonies. How does that happen? I don't think anybody gets peer pressured. To play in the bassoon, what was there, like a group of cool kids who would all hang out behind the elementary school, welling away on their bassoons, and little Timmy, the nerd? He has aspirations of being a doctor. Find someone, oh, hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, what's up, Timmy? Oh, you don't want none of this. Only the cool kids play bassoon. You want to be cool, Timmy? Oh, I don't know, guys. Miss Smith said that double-reeded woodwind instruments are the most difficult to maintain proper intonation. Whoa! Whoa! Gonna do everything Miss Smith says, huh? Huh? You want to be cool like us? Why don't you just try it? Just take a little puff. One little puff never hurt nobody. Okay, if you promise we won't get in trouble. And his whole life is ruined. My point is, I don't think it happens that way. Which means it has to happen some other way. They have to know at 6 years old, it has to call to them somehow. They have to see a symphony or something, and they see that instrument in the back, just this long tube that just sticks out, and they can hear it amongst the cacophony of sound, and it just calls to them, some ominous calling from the universe. And they know. They just know that that's their calling. And then they have to go convince their dad to buy them a bassoon. Daddy, Daddy. Daddy, I want to play the bassoon, Daddy. No son of mine's gonna play the bassoon, You're gonna be like me and grow up and work in the coal mines, No, Daddy. I don't want to work in the coal mines, Daddy. I want to bring joy through a long tube. Oh, so my job's not good enough for you? I can't tell if I'm British or a pirate. Did you guys? Is this a cigar or a hook? Because I can't. Okay. We'll take some acting classes, see if I can straighten that out before next time. Somehow he does it. He gets a bassoon, practices every day. His friends are getting bicycles and Nintendos and playing sports, but not him. In his bedroom every day, alone, welling away on the bassoon. Junior high, high school, gets to music college, graduates music college, and then he has to enter the highly competitive professional bassoon job market. That exists. After all that work, he can still fail at it. And anybody who tries to pursue a dream, you fail. You fail so many times, which means after all that work, he went into audition for one of the big symphonies. He wailed away, did the best he can, and they're like, "You're not what we're looking for." Ah! That was nowhere close. And then he had to take that drive home. A long drive home. He had to go home and look himself in the mirror and have that conversation that anyone who's ever had a dream has had to have with himself. What do you think you're doing with your life? You think you have what it takes? You think you have what it takes to go out there and be a professional comedian? Bassoon player! Bassoon player! Projected myself into the story. Then everybody has to make that choice. Do I give up on my dreams? Go sell insurance? Or do I double down? And that bassoon player, he doubled down. Yeah, that's right. He doubled down. Back at it. Back in the practice room. He's practicing. He goes to Tony Robbins to get a little motivation. He's surrounded by life coaches, so it was easy to find one. Failure after failure, getting cut from the symphony. You're not what we're looking for. And then one day, he walks into that audition, and it's the day. And he wails away, and they look at him, and they say, yes. And then that bassoon player gets to fulfill his life mission, sitting on a stage, wedged between trombones and clarinets, to fulfill his life mission, to sit in front of a live audience and go. And that's the life of a bassoon player, everybody. So this song, this goes out to all the bald men in the world. Yeah, you can hear how depressing the applause is. You see, men who look like us, we don't ever get to be the prince in cartoon fairy tales. We only get to be like villains or like ogres. I think one of the dwarfs. So this song is a princess longing for something a little different. Some girls want a prince with blonde hair, some a brunette instead. Even Meghan Markle got a prince who's red. You see, I want a prince who's bald. I want a prince whose scalp has seen it all. If a prince such as this should give me a kiss, my life would be such bliss. La la la. I want that prince who's slick and sheen with no hair on his head. A prince who, when I look at him, I see my reflection instead. Oh, where is my old prince? I feel him in my heart. I know that he'll be strong and true, and like his hair, we will never part. I want a prince with no hairdo, oh, only bald will do. He'll love me true, and I him too, and we'll save thousands on shampoo. I know he'll come through every obstacle. He'll love me true with every broken follicle. Oh, I want a prince who's bald. Still single.